Depreciation of Icelandic krona. The exchange rate between US dollar and krona was rather stable before the financial crisis. For 3 years before the mid-2008, it was around 60 to 70 krona to 1 US dollar. Meanwhile, the krona depreciated for 47% from July 2008 within 3 months, and it reached 114 krona to 1 US dollar. The depreciation of krona implies the tremendous increase in debt, while the debt to GDP ratio was about 6. At the end of 2008, household debt to disposable income was 272%. Therefore, the depreciation of krona will significantly dampen the situation. The second problem is the high inflation rate. The inflation target was around 2.5%, but in April 2008, double-digit inflation was found. The uncontrolled price instability may weaken the effectiveness of the government's rescue plan as well as its accountability. In recent years, historical unemployment rate in Iceland was relatively steady and low. Between the year 2006 and the first half year of 2008, the unemployment rate was never reached 1.7 or above. However, since October 2008, all 4 major Iceland banks have been nationalized, and the banks' business in foreign countries have ceased operation, and layoff is unavoidable. As a result, unemployment rate has been increased from 1.3% to 9.1% since October 2008 until April 2009. The rising unemployment rate adversely affects the economic recovery and indicating the worsening livelihood of the Icelandic people, which contributed to the social unrest and the credibility crisis of the government. In the following section, we will have a short review on Iceland's policy implemented. The first policy is capital control. Due to the great depreciation of krona, the government tried to take control of the capital. And the first policy under capital control is the daily auction. Daily auction of foreign exchange is conducted under Central Bank of Iceland. But it seems that the daily auction of foreign currency can't stop the capital outflow. So on the 28th of November, the government tried to have temporary restriction on foreign exchange completely. Reasons for capital control. Capital controls has been implemented in different countries for years during the financial crisis, which is regarded as the most efficient means to control the capital outflow and the most efficient means to prevent the increment in foreign debts due to depreciation of local currency. On the other hand, capital control can also provide the government putting aside the exchange rate problem temporarily and focus on the domestic problem. Iceland is a very small population-sized country which do not require huge transaction demand for money, which means most of the money demand is constituted by excess demand. Given an open economy with high capital mobility, money demand is supposed to be highly interest elastic, and without capital control, we suppose that the BP curve should be very gentle. So, when imposing capital control, the government can use interest rate as a tool to manipulate domestic economy and minimize the external effects. Just like the diagrams that were shown, given the vertical BP with zero capital mobility, the change of interest rate will endogenously change the BP curve. External effects is minimized. The second policy implemented is the change of policy rates. Policy rate was reduced to 12% from 15.5 on the 15th of October 2008 for stimulating investment after the financial crisis. Given the people's expectation on inflation at 14%, it's turned out that the real interest rate becomes negative, and which induced a huge capital flight and deteriorating the situation. And so the government would like to restore the policy rate to 18% on 28th of October 2008, and the rate of depreciation slowed down after the adjustment. We can take a look at the percentage change of the real exchange rate of krona against its major trading partner like the USA, UK, Japan, Canada, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and the Euro area. The rate of depreciation was highest in October 2008, which increased from 7% in September to 13%. After the upward adjustment of policy rates reached 18% again, the rate of depreciation slowed down to 10%, 8%, and 2% for the following 3 months.